ASTS, man, am I stoked about this right now. Look, I've been wrong for the last week or so, but I think the bottom's going to be today or Monday morning. So this is more of a swing, not necessarily a day trade, although it could work out today. All right. I can't do the whole fundamental review of this. I would just say the reason I like it today is two things. Because we bounced off $23 support in early pre-market, overshot at $22.82. $23 was the high right there before this big inflection on ER. Okay. So I have a simple kind of rule. We always know previous resistance is now support. I get it. But the way to logically think about that, if ASTS was worth up to $23 before the inflection point news, shouldn't it be worth at least $23 after the inflection point news? That's the way I think of it, because I'm thinking about the market psychology of other participants. Other people are looking at this, and I think that's the calculation they make more than a technical analysis, right? However, there's been dilution since then, all right? There's warrants that are being redeemed. There's an ATM running. So in terms of market cap, the market cap's actually higher at $23 today than it was over here on August 9th. So it could potentially overshoot. But the other thing that we have going for us is the warrant redemptions is ending today. Okay, ASTSW is going to be delisted today. And look at this. Look at this opportunity. If you're like $12 to $3 to $13. After 5 p.m. today, this will be worth a penny. I think maybe someone in early pre-market got worried about that. Potentially, they missed the deadline because some brokers, apparently, they don't let you redeem until 5 p.m. today. You have to do it a day early at some brokers. So maybe someone got some bad news and they're like, oh, shit, I'm only getting a penny at 5 p.m. today. Let me sell this for whatever I got. But, oh, my gosh, crazy stuff going on in ASTSW. And it is a fact. We've seen some anecdotal evidence that some people have been selling their common stock in order to fund the purchase. They have to spend, I think it's $11.50 per warrant to get it converted into common shares. They have to upfront that cash. So people have been selling the common shares to do that. That whole mechanics ends today at 5 p.m. And I think we may also get a press release from the company on Monday updating on that potentially, or at least an SEC filing. Actually, I heard there was one last night with some information on that. Anyway, huge short position. When it has a green day, it tends to be a very big green day. I think I put a prediction in there that in our community that we could have a 10% move today or Monday or Tuesday, imminently, a 10% move coming up, maybe a little bit more to about 27 or so. So ASTS, top of my mind. Okay, we talked about MU earnings tonight, all right? I'm still in a couple. I only had a couple call up. I think I had like 2 or 3, and I sold one yesterday, so I'm not in this big, even though I have a $99 price target here for you. I think I'm going to continue playing this today, and I might even make an ER bet. This has come down so much, and the sentiment is so bad. I think there's going to be a low bar. There's like analysts have been downgrading the price targets over the past month aggressively, but they all still have buys, and they all still have price targets well above where we're at. It's just basically they're like, okay, instead of 160, we're at 120, or instead of 180, we're at 140, or instead of 150, we're at 120. All right, because something with the DRAM memory market or something. I don't know. I'm not an expert in the area. I know that their AI business is why I'm interested in this, and the AI memory business is booming. Might not be enough to offset the traditional business, and that's what's going on here. That's why all the analyst downgrades, but the sentiment is so poor. I mean, it'll just take maybe even inline. Maybe they don't even need to beat. I don't think they need to beat, honestly, because of this. So this might actually be a good ER bet. I was hoping for $99 today. Maybe it's still possible, but I think it might be worth an ER bet. Could see some explosive price action if they merely meet expectations. Guidance will be more important, though. We'll see what they say about guidance. So these are the top 5 picks for today. Oklo, number one for now. And we got RCAT, Dash, Summit, and then MU, the low-hanging fruit. Hopefully we see a pump towards the close, and then maybe take an earnings bet too. All right, guys, good luck today. One of the top picks in our community, MU has earnings tonight. And I made a kind of prediction this morning that, first of all, for the last 2-3 days, we've had this on our radar as a top pick, as an event anticipation run towards that 50 DMA by the close today. 50 DMA is at 98.39. I actually think that may not even be out of the question for today. But I think something else here. Look at this thing, down from 157 to 95 or whatever. Analysts have been cutting their price targets like crazy over the last couple months, but they still have buys. They still have overweights. They just cut their price targets from 150 to 120, for example, something like that. They got big AI tailwinds, but some concern about pricing in the non-AI memory business. I think tonight for MU, all you have to do is meet estimates. You don't even need to beat. I think if you meet estimates, the stock explodes. I'm going to pause there, get the Godfather's feedback on that. I know you entered the trade as well today.
Yeah, so I've actually been picking away at it around this 90 level, which looks like a good level on the charts. But like you said, I focus more on the fundamentals. And, here you have a name that's trading around 10 times 25 earnings. So yes, there's been some market consternation, and there's been some concern about NAND and DRAM pricing, which is still the bulk of the business here. But there is a ramp in HBM, high bandwidth memory, and it's this relationship with NVIDIA that's the focus of the market, and that's really what's going to drive sentiment, which is really what's going to drive multiples from here. And so I think there's some real support at 10 where we're at. So it seems like an asymmetric risk reward. If you extend that out on an EV to sales basis, you're under 3, and on an EV EBITDA basis, you're under 20. So it's reasonable valuations across the board. You're going to see HBM go 5x from what we saw in the previously reported quarter going into Q1 2025. They're completely sold out in all of 24 and 25. I know the market, when they reported last quarter, was a little bit, they were sitting there going, well, why have you contracted all of this out when you're completely sold out? That's just the way the nature of this business and the way it works. And it's a cyclical business ultimately, which is another reason why I like this trade, because cyclicals obviously respond well when you get interest rate cuts. So, this is an extremely cheap call on AI, which is where the growth and sentiment drivers for the multiple are going to come from. And just look at top line here. If you look at consensus estimates, you're looking at an almost 50% increase from 25 over 24. So it strikes me as a good risk reward here around the $90 level. I own the common, and I own some $90 strike calls. Some of that is from my trading bucket, and some of that is building a long-term position. So that's my take on Micron from the fundamentals standpoint.
Awesome, sounds good. ASTS, man, am I stoked about this right now. Look, I've been wrong for the last week or so, but I think the bottom's going to be today or Monday morning. So this is more of a swing, not necessarily a day trade, although it could work out today. All right. I can't do the whole fundamental review of this. I would just say the reason I like it today is two things, because we bounced off $23 support in early pre-market, overshot at $22.82. $23 was the high right there before this big inflection on ER. Okay. So I have a simple kind of rule. We always know previous resistance is now support. I get it. But the way to logically think about that, if ASTS was worth up to $23 before the inflection point news, shouldn't it be worth at least $23 after the inflection point news? That's the way I think of it. because I'm thinking about the market psychology of other participants. Other people are looking at this, and I think that's the calculation they make more than a technical analysis, right? However, there's been dilution since then. All right, there's warrants that are being redeemed. There's an ATM running. So in terms of market cap, the market cap's actually higher at $23 today than it was over here on August 9th. So it could potentially overshoot. But the other thing that we have going for us is the warrant redemptions is ending today. Okay, ASTSW is going to be delisted today. And look at this. Look at this opportunity. If you're like $12 to $3 to $13. After 5 p.m. today, this will be worth a penny. I think maybe someone in early pre-market got worried about that. Potentially, they missed the deadline because some brokers, apparently, they don't let you redeem until 5 p.m. today. You have to do it a day early at some brokers. So maybe someone got some bad news and they're like, oh, shit, I'm only getting a penny at 5 p.m. today. Let me sell this for whatever I got. But, oh, my gosh, crazy stuff going on in ASTSW. And it is a fact. We've seen some anecdotal evidence that some people have been selling their common stock in order to fund the purchase. They have to spend, I think it's $11.50 per warrant to get it converted into common shares. They have to upfront that cash. So people have been selling the common shares to do that. That whole mechanics ends today at 5 p.m. And I think we may also get a press release from the company on Monday updating on that, potentially, or at least an SEC filing. Actually, I heard there was one last night with some information on that. Anyway, huge short position. When it has a green day, it tends to be a very big green day. I think I put a prediction in there that in our community that we could have a 10% move today or Monday or Tuesday, imminently, a 10% move coming up, maybe a little bit more to about 27 or so. So ASTS, top of my mind.
It's not easy to understand why stocks go up and down, but even in volatile markets, there's always a discoverable and logical reason behind price action. Story trading is a social investing community of investors who share information to uncover the hidden stories behind the trade through the 4 pillars of fundamentals, catalysts, sentiment, and technicals. All price action can be understood through the lens of these pillars, allowing for a holistic view that empowers better decision-making. Only by understanding markets can you beat them. Join our community today and start making sense of markets.
All right. Welcome, guys. I'm trying to figure out. Okay, there we go. I just had to turn my mic off. Okay. All right. It is Tuesday, October 1st. We are up on simulcasting the Twitter Spaces for the first time. Guys, if you're listening on Twitter Spaces, we got 300 people on the video. So if it's easier for you, or if you want to see the video, make sure to tap up there. You'll see it in that red highlight at the top. And then you can see our screen share as well. But you can stay on the Twitter Spaces if you want. We're testing this out to see if that's more convenient for people. But looks like we got 300 people on the video and just 2 people on the Twitter Spaces. But that's okay. We'll keep the Twitter Spaces open and X Spaces, and you can listen to us through there. So we are doing a screen share. So pull out your charts if you are on X Spaces so you can see what we're talking about. All right. This is story trading, right? Where we say there's a story behind the trade, that markets are efficient. There's a reason why stocks go up and down. And if you identify those reasons, you can be positioned to participate in rapid re-ratings on stocks. Okay. We understand and make sense out of price action based on the 4 pillars of catalyst, sentiment, fundamentals, and technicals. When you understand those 4 pillars, you can make sense out of price action and predict rapid re-ratings in stocks when a new catalyst hits. So we take that catalyst, we say, what's the impact on sentiment? What's the impact on fundamentals? Then we triangulate that on a chart on technicals. We take that trade thesis and we put it in our Discord community. Already put out a ton of ideas last night, early this morning, which are working out pretty well. I'm going to start with CVS. Actually, I'm going to skip the macro overview. Macro has been pretty stable in the main indices. So we're going to jump right into particular stocks. I will mention a little bit on macro when we get to gold over here. But CVS yesterday, what a beautiful victory Unbelievable call outs we had on this trade position. We gave you two targets. The first one was around 63.90, which hit it perfectly. Maybe it was 63.95. All right, hit it perfectly in pre-market. Then we gave you a support level of 62.50 during the day, which perfectly, we gave an alert in a Discord to buy at 62.50. Our secondary target was 65, and it hit 65 perfectly there in extended hours. So, if you're part of our community, you know the reasons and the catalysts behind all of this. There's an activist getting involved, and now they're looking at maybe breaking up the company, and it hit those two levels. You can see them beautiful. The first target was that candle resistance. It hit in pre-market. The second target was a 200 DMA. So beautiful prediction yesterday. Now, what do we got for today? Just a quick overview. We're going to be talking about Tesla, NIO, ASTS, Summit, a little bit on gold. Then we got some micro cap shitcodes to talk about. Don't normally do this, but tonight we see a couple compelling ideas. Maybe not as much of a shitco there, and BCTX, biotech with some news. All right. So let's start with Tesla. Tesla's been a swing trade for us ever since Powell cut by 50 bips. And we've been reiterating this almost every day because of the China stimulus. Tesla has a lot of exposure to China. We're giving you a $270 and $300 swing target, and it looks like it's on its way there. I just want to reiterate this because I think now we may be accelerating quicker to that 270 and 300 price target here in the very near term. Last night, a couple catalysts. We had Dan Ives speaking positively on Tesla and AI. I think it was earlier in the day. I don't know which firm it was. Also coming out and saying the which part of the business was it that they were saying could be worth $1,000? Was it robotics? I think it was the robot. I think it was the robot sector of Tesla, saying that could be worth alone $1,000 a share, something like that. So lots of good analyst opinions last couple days, but already I've been really bullish on this because of, as I was saying, the rate cuts and the China tailwinds, and you have October 10th coming out, the robotaxi event. So extra emphasis here on Tesla. I'm in it as a long-term position. Maybe I'll pick up some. I've been day trading this last few days as well. You can pick up the dips on this because there's a lot of buying demand on Tesla. 270, 300 are swing targets. NIO, man, congratulations again to everyone in our community who nailed this from $5, mostly due to the Godfather and his calls, but it's been a top pick on our show several times as well. Yesterday morning, we told our Discord community to avoid it in the morning and look for a pullback to 666, the gap fill. Well, guess what? The low of the day was 666, and I did pick up some NIO yesterday for my long-term account at 666, and this morning we initiated a long-term recommendation in NIO, a little bit late. Godfather had it at 5, but we initiated a long-term on here. Lots of positive catalysts, starting with that inflection point ER, which we covered here a few weeks ago. Positive analyst coverage coming out this morning. Their deliveries, record number on deliveries. There's a new model coming out. So the range we're giving is 7 to 950. I think we covered this yesterday on the show as well. So 7 to 950. That's the range we think this stock can trade in here in the next couple of weeks. And the closer you get to that support, 666. There are other support levels as well. It's possible the gap could break here at 666, but you got all these bullish lines all the way to like 570, 560, 570. And I think those are all bullish support areas to pick some up if we do get a pullback. So extra focus here on Tesla and NIO today. ASTS, as you know, we nailed the bottom on this on Friday. Beautiful. Right at the bottom. We're piling in our Discord. We gave the the 4-pillar pick analysis, a trade card on Thursday night. So this one I reemphasized recently. I'm going to predict we break above the 20 DMA. So 27.35. That's one of the things we do differently at story trading. We're not pure technical traders. We don't wait for the breakouts. We predict the breakouts. So sometimes it takes a little bit more time, but very often we predict the breakouts because of a proximal catalyst, and those breakouts come very fast. So looking for a break of 27.35. The RSI is very low here, relatively speaking. At 50, I think it supports a break of that 20-day moving average. Looking for a target of 31 once we do break that 20 DMA. No particular catalyst today, however. All right. So we'll see. That's more of a swing pick, not necessarily a day trade for today because there is no specific catalyst today on that. Whereas Tesla and NIO, we do have some specific catalysts we just talked about. Summit Therapeutics, SMMT, a stock we played right at the beginning here at this gap open on September 9th at $16. So that was a beautiful day in swing trades we had in Summit. Moved all the way to $34, and now we've pulled back. So we like Summit again over here. The RSI has reset again, relatively low, right? It's not 30, but compared to its history, it's relatively at a level where you start seeing rebounds. It closed above the 20 DMA yesterday, big short position. And I think the thing here that really interests me is I think that a lot of people will just write this off because of the high market cap, like 17 billion for a phase 3 company, early phase 3 or mid phase 3, however you want to look at it. So I think a lot of people will be like, oh my gosh, this is so overvalued. I'm going to either forget about it or short it. And I think that's a mistake. Based on the research I did, even at this phase 3 level, this stock could be worth 20 to 40 billion dollars because if it does get approved, you're talking about a market cap of well over 100 billion dollars because their drug that is comparing favorably to Merck's blockbuster Keytruda for the treatment of cancer. So I just don't think that data is just one leg up, one wave up. We got one wave up because of that data. Now you pull back to an area where you can see a bounce. That data is worth at least a second wave up. I know if you pull back, but really the impressive data was over here in September that the world became first aware of. So the world first becomes aware of this impressive data. One wave up, I don't buy it. All right, we're at a pullback level, and I think we'll have a second wave up. This technical level may be a place to trigger that. So Summit is a trade that actually put a 4-pillar trade card out on it early this morning for a community in our Discord. Now, gold I want to mention because we do have an open swing, open long position, swing to long with kind of a indefinite price target, to be honest with you, on GLD. I think you have to own this, and it's just going higher. There's a global liquidity injection happening all over the world right now, and that's good for gold because of future inflation concerns. So gold 247.37 is the high. We had low inflation coming out of Europe this morning, which supports more liquidity injection. So again, long-term concerns of inflation. So I just really like gold here. Make sure you have that long-term position. Not necessarily a pick for it today, however. Now, let's move into some smaller micro caps. We normally don't do this, but we're in a mega trend with China stocks right now. And in a mega trend, it's really easy to make money, and it's kind of a shame not to dabble in some of these lower quality names sometimes. So HOLO, HOLO, okay? This is, we call it a shitco, all right? This is not an investment. This is only a trade. You can look in the past. This stock has done crazy things, moving from like, what is this? From like $20 to $160, from $29 to $116. Again here from $1, from $4, from $1 to $90. It does like some crazy shit. So there's a history there that people are interested in. And there's two things that caught my eye though. Yesterday, we closed right at the 50 DMA, and then we broke above that 50 DMA. That's 36 cents in after hours last night at the same time that we're seeing a lot. I just saw a big signal on social media that people are really interested in talking about this. Now you break above that 50 DMA with that social media signal and that mega trend of China stocks, all right? People missed out on BABA and NIO. They're going to be looking for the next China stock. So above the 50 DMA at 36 cents, I put a target of 76 cents. All right. This is not an investment. It's a shitco. We usually don't do shitcos, but in a mega trend, I will try shitcos. All right. So we gave a nice alert on this this morning in our Discord, and it's doing pretty good. I think the alert was right. It was 41 cents. Yeah, it was a 41 cents. We're at 43. We moved to 49 cents. We're at 43 cents now. So I do have a position in this. Looking for 76 cents. Again, disclaimer, this is not an investment and shitco. All right. So that's HOLO. Now, SQNS is a stock we did play on this news back here, and it was difficult that day. We made some money in pre-market, but in the regular session, this is SQNS, August 23rd. SQNS, $200 million sale of an asset to Qualcomm with a market cap of just $70 million or so. Pulled back for a while. We forgot about it. Last couple days, it's come back to life. Caught our attention because it closed over the 200 DMA, closed over the 200 DMA on a catalyst yesterday, which was a PR of that deal with Qualcomm finishing. Net, I think they put the press release out this morning, got like $160 million up front and some more payments later, something like that. Again, market cap is $74 million over the 200 DMA. So I'm looking for possible continuation in SQNS today. Another stock that was given to us by a member in our Discord community this morning, BCTX coming out with some cancer data. Briacel achieves breakthrough in breast treatment, 100% resolution of brain metastasis in breast cancer patient with eye bulging tumor. Lots of specificity in that press release. Look, biotech's another hot section. You talk about mega trends. You have China, but you also have biotech. And biotech stocks have been reacting very, very positively recently to positive data, especially positive cancer data. So I thought this was also worth a risk today. Again, I consider this a shitco, all right? Even though actually I think they're in phase 2, moving to phase 3, market cap only 38 million. This is actually a little bit interesting. It's a shitco still, but it's a more higher quality shitco, I would say. This one on September 11th, all right, they released some positive data, not as specific as was released today, and then they did a raise off the back of that, raise like, what was it, like 10 or $11 million. So that raise is out of the way. So now we have no risk raise. You can see that was a closed green candle. We had an open green candle. People anticipating this news today, probably leaked, maybe some insider trading yesterday. But in any case, today, I think we have a chance for another open green candle on this data without the risk of any near-term raise. That's BCTX. And I think we we didn't get price targets on this one, but I'll do it with you here. About 176 is in the cards, I think. All right, 176, this recent high, this recent candle resistance before that September 11th, 22. All right, you also have 159 pre-market resistance, probably a good spot to sell if it reaches 158, 159 this morning as well. All right, a little bit of news in Drio. You can take a look at that. We are in that moment, though, where small caps are coming back. Rotation is coming back into the small cap and into the lower quality companies. So any catalyst can set things off. So Drio on my radar today with a Medicaid win, was it? Let's see, Medicare Advantage plan. All right, new contract with National Medicare Advantage Plan. I think over 1 million members or something starting their service here in January in just a couple months. So good news out of Drio this morning. All right, let's see if we can now order these and give you like a top 5 for today. All right, so CVS no longer in the top 5, right? So we're going to sell that near that second target of 65 if you haven't already. Tesla does have a catalyst, going to be in our top 5. NIO has a catalyst, going to be in the top 5. ASTS, no specific catalyst today, but I love that chart setup and looking for the break of the 20 DMA. Let's see if we have anything else with a catalyst, though, that can make the top 5. Summit and ASTS, very similar situations, by the way. Very similar charts, very similar situations. Look at that, almost carbon copies. So I love both of these, but let's see if we have a catalyst to put in the top 5. All right, gold, we talk about that long term. HOLO, oh, do we want to put a shitco in the top 5? Maybe. All right, HOLO, I like the SQNS news as well. Let's see, let's put in these little microcap shitcos at the top. All right, now let's see what we got. We got Tesla and NIO up there. We got HOLO. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do something I never do. I'm putting HOLO. I'm going to put HOLO. I just, I have very, very good results historically and good experience playing shitcos and mega trends. All right. That's the place to be. When you're a mega trend, anything that's breaking resistance, anything with a catalyst, I mean, it's usually a layup, usually easy money. So we're going to put HOLO actually up front at the top. Then Tesla, NIO, SQNS, and BCTX. We're going to put these. You know what I'm going to do? I have to put ASTS and Summit up here. I'm going to round it out like this. HOLO, Tesla, NIO, STS, ASTS, and Summit. I like those as the top 5. All right. Secondary picks for you here to look at SQNS, BCTX, and maybe Drio. All right. Those are like second tier picks for today. Top tier picks, HOLO. That's funny. I have HOLO, the shit crap company that's not an investment, as a top tier pick just for today, though. HOLO, Tesla, NIO, ASTS, Summit. Those are your top 5 picks for today. If you want to be part of our community, get this show every single day. We're doing some free previews here this month off and on, but just for this show. All right. We got a very active Discord community. We're active in after hours. We give you trade cards with the Catalyst Sentiment Fundamentals, Technicals, and a trade plan. We have an active chat room during the day with the Godfather and other participants. A lot of the time we make our biggest money in pre-market and extended hours. So if you want to be part of the Discord, head on over to storytrading.com Discord. Am I frozen? I'm not. Oh, there. Okay, I'm moving. It looked like I was frozen for a while. So Rhett's not with me today. He's out sick, so I don't have any discount codes for you. But storytrading.com/Discord. It's only $59 a month. If you want a discount, I guess scour our Twitter or X. Maybe you'll find some old discount code that's still working. All right. With that, good luck, everyone. We'll see you next time.